This morning, police now say that reports of shots fired in a South Moorhead neighborhood are unconfirmed. They got a call around 4:30 this morning to the 400 block of 17th Street South.
Several officers responded and checked out the area, but could not find any evidence of a crime. They tell Valley News Live that a similar call from the same area had come in about an hour earlier. And again, police did not find any proof of any guns being fired. New this morning, a North Dakota man is dead after being hit by a car while picking up items that had blown out of the back of his pickup. It happened last night near Watford City in McKenzie County. The Highway Patrol says the victim had parked on the side of the highway and was picking up belongings that were scattered along the road when he was hit by a pickup. Troopers are not yet releasing the name of the victim, but do say he's a 66-year-old from Watford City. The Highway Patrol is investigating possible charges against the other driver. Now he's a 40-year-old man from Dickinson. Two-thirds of Americans are now under winter weather alerts and warnings this morning. They're bringing ice, snow, and frigid temperatures to large sections of the country. In Texas, a huge demand caused the electrical grid to fail, leaving millions in the dark and cold. Governor Greg Abbott is calling up National Guard troops to help move people to warming centers. And check this out. The ice and snow was just too much for a grocery store in Troutdale, Oregon, just outside of Portland. The roof collapsed under all of that weight. Luckily, no injuries. People inside, they figured out what was happening and then got out safely. Snow and ice storms in that area have brought down trees and power lines and knocked out power for hundreds of thousands of people. And speaking of that, people in our neck of the woods, the Dakotas and Minnesota, they're being urged to help preserve energy to help out our neighbors to the south who are on the same power grid. The Southwest Power Pool manages the electric grid from Texas to the Canadian border, and millions of customers in those southern states are using more electricity because of unprecedented cold temperatures. Some energy companies are implementing rolling power outages to help manage the overwhelming demand. You can help by turning down the thermostat a few degrees, turning off unnecessary lights, and holding off on using large appliances like your dishwasher. Make sure you check ahead if you're trying to fly out of the valley today as well, because some flights are being impacted by that weather trouble down south. A flight from Dallas to Fargo last night was canceled, and so far 2 morning flights out of Fargo have now been canceled as well. Our latest check of the Grand Forks Airport shows everything there is on time. So let's get a check of our forecast as we start off our Tuesday morning. Once again, very cold, Lisa.
Yes, we're still in the heart of this Arctic air mass, still stuck right in the middle of it. That means we're missing out on the storm track, but we are also experiencing some of the coldest temperatures with this air mass. I do want to point out that this cold air extends, as we've been talking about, all the way down to the Gulf Coast, but this black line here, that's the 0 degree mark, and you can see Frisco 4 below right now. So this is a good example of just how cold it is down in that part of the world. And for us, that's not a big deal, but for them, it is a huge deal. And we've had some issues here ourselves. So it's nice to see these high temperatures that we had yesterday. We finally broke the streak in Grand Forks. We got to a high of 4. Fargo, not quite there yet. We only rose to 2 below. So we're going to try to work on that today to finally rise above 0. But we've been on a cold streak, and one that will be going down in history. It's for most of us in that 10-day range, which puts us in the top 10, and for many in the top 3 for longest consecutive days below or at 0. So that's just how bad it's been for us as well. Here's a look at our current conditions. Still frigid out there this morning. Some of us in eastern North Dakota more into the teens below. Grand Forks, Devil's Lake at 17 below. Fargo's currently sitting at 20 below. And then in places like Bemidji in the east, we have a couple of spots that have dropped into the 30s below yet again today. So we're now down to 34 below there. Most places reporting some clear skies. So again, frigid this morning. The worst of it is in the east. And our wind chills, well, the worst of those are in the west in some instances because we have a little more wind there. So it kind of all equals out here for that feels like number here on the map. A lot of spots into the 30s to even 41 below in Langdon. So bundle up today. We're looking at a wind chill advisory here this morning. So not as intense, but still quite cold. We've got clear skies, beautiful view on our First Alert Skycam in Fargo. And it's nice to be able to show you this. I haven't been able to use it for about a week now because it's been so cold. The heater's had a hard time keeping up and keeping that camera and the equipment going. So it's had to shut down to preserve here. So that gives you an idea of what we've been dealing with. It's quiet right now, just a few flakes out to the west that will affect us later tonight, a few flurries. So for your bus stop planner, make sure you're bundling up those kids yet again as they head back to school today. Cold out at the bus stop this morning, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see those temperatures rise above zero.
Okay, it's a goal for the day. Slowly but surely, we're climbing out of the deep freeze. Thank you, Lisa. Thousands of Minnesota students are heading back to their classrooms today. Younger kids in elementary schools were the first to return, and now many middle and high school students are going back for the first time in months.
The Centers for Disease Control released new guidelines on Friday for states to consider to get students back into the classroom. The report stresses universal mask wearing, proper ventilation in schools, hand washing, and a 6 feet minimum of social distancing. However, the state of Minnesota's Safe Learning Plan recommends 3 feet of social distancing when it comes to getting students back into the schools. Friends and family are now remembering 21-year-old Isaiah Johnson of Fargo after he was killed in a crash over the weekend. That crash happened at the intersection of Great Northern Drive and 18th Street North just after 1 Saturday morning.
Officers found a badly damaged vehicle and a man's body on the ground nearby. Police say the driver had taken off. They do believe alcohol played a factor. No charges have been filed yet.
I'm angry. He had a choice, and he's going to have to live with it for the rest of his life, yes, but I don't get to live with Isaiah for the rest of mine.
A meal train has been organized for Isaiah's family. To donate money or a meal, just check out this link on the VNL News app.
A moment of silence will be held today to honor the victims of a medical clinic shooting in Buffalo, Minnesota. Gregory Ulrich is charged with murder, attempted murder, and other counts after he allegedly opened fire at a health clinic northwest of Minneapolis last week, killing 1 staff member and injuring 4 others. Allina Health has invited communities across Minnesota to participate in activities today. The event will take place at 11 this morning. That was around the same time that shooting happened. One Jamestown man is now facing kidnapping and aggravated assault charges after a report of a sexual assault. 23-year-old Samuel Mittleader is suspected of kidnapping and assault with serious bodily injury. Police say there was a gun involved in the incident. Several police agencies tracked down that suspect on Friday. 2 men are in jail for a weekend shooting at a strip club just outside of Devil's Lake. One man was shot in the leg early Saturday when police say multiple rounds were fired into Wally's Roadhouse and Gentlemen's Club. The Ramsey County Sheriff says one of the suspects left the club and returned with a gun. Now gave it to the other suspect, who then fired at the building. One man is facing attempted murder charges, while the other is facing an accomplice to attempted murder charge. There's no word yet on how badly the victim was hurt. Some North Dakota lawmakers are taking another shot at allowing people to carry hidden firearms at sporting and athletic events, including on school property. A new bill would cut out nearly 24 items from the state's list of dangerous weapons. Supporters of the move say the laws are too specific to be effective, but opponents worry that removing items does not expand safety, but it does open the door for bad actors.
2 knives, essentially the same. One can be opened easily that way, one opened easily by this way. The difference, one is considered a dangerous weapon, one is not. Now, with that, it should be whatever crime is being committed with these, not the item itself. Items that could be taken off the list are switchblades larger than 5 inches, crossbows, and BB guns.
For schools, the bill only bans firearms from the school building itself. It does not include athletic events. It was a close vote, but North Dakota House members have killed a bill that would have made mug shots confidential. The measure was designed to keep the pictures private until a person was convicted, or if law enforcement felt there was a compelling public safety interest to release the photo. The vote was 45 yes, 49 no, but it needed 48 votes to pass. Supporters of the measure say mugshots live forever online and cause distress for the people who are arrested but never charged. Opponents say the bill would infringe upon the public's right to know. The bill would also punish a police officer if the release of a photo was not justified. College football, it's back. Get ready. The Bison, they take on Youngstown State on Sunday for their first game of the spring season. I am so excited. All of the Bison fans have been waiting since last fall for this kind of weird spring season. The Farmers Union Insurance pregame show starts at 1:30, and of course we will take you all the way up to kickoff at 2:30, and you can catch all the action on KVLY. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. 80% of people say they have never thoroughly cleaned this.
The answer, their microwave.
Ick. It's icky in there.
It is icky in there, otherwise it's going to smell like a Hot Pocket every time you go to nuke up everything else. Remember, you can play along every day. But the Today Show and CBS This Morning, it's just about to start, but the Valley today, it rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather on the Fargo.